Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Jaya, Tulsi Maharani Jaya, Brinda Devi Jaya, Tulsi Maharani Jaya, Brinda Devi. Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya, Brinda Devi Jaya, Tulsi Maharani Jaya, Brinda Devi.
Jai, Tosi Maharani ki jai. We offer our most respectful obeisances to all Vaishnavas who are just like desire trees, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen, conditioned souls. Jai. Panchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhu Devacha, Patitanam Bhavanibhyo, Vaishnavabhyo, Namo Namaha. Oh no. Hey. Hey Krishna. Okay. Okay, so today is the appearance day of Lochan Das Thakur. So what we're going to do, since no one's around to criticize me, we're going to play Paramakarana Bahujvijnam as an introduction to class. No, not when I play the guitar. Just wait. So, I don't know if you'll be able to follow me or not, because it's maybe a little different melody. Paramakaruna Bahudvijana Nitai Gaurachanda Paramakaruna Bahudvijana Nitai Gaurachanda Shaba Avatara Jara Shiromane Kevalananda Kanda Shaba Avatara Jara Shiromane Kevalananda Kanda Bhaja Bhaja Bhai Chaitanyanitai Sudardat Vishvasa Kore Bhaja Bhaja Bhai Chaitanyanitai Sudardat Vishvasa Kore Vishaya Chadiya Sera Semajiya Muke Bodo Hari Hari Vishaya Chadiya Sera Semajiya Muke Bodo Hari Hari Jacob Oro by Tribhuvanenai Emanotaya Latata Jacob Ore by Tribhuvanenai Emanotaya Latata Pacha Paki Jure Pachane Vidare Shuni Jara Gunakata Pacha Paki Jure Pachana Vidare Shuni Jara Gunakata Samsare Majia Ruhili Poria Se Pade Nahilo Hasha Samsare Majia Ruhili Poria Se Pade Nahilo Hasha Apana Karama Punjaye Shamana Koro Helo Chana Jasa Apana Karama Punjaye Shamana Koro Helo Chana Jasa Paramakaruna Pabudvijana Nitai Gaura Chandra Paramakaruna Pabudvijana Nitai Gaura Chandra Paramakaruna Pabudvijana Nitai Gaura Chandra Karuna Dvijana Nitai Gaura Chanda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Parama Karuna Dvijana Nitai Gaurachandra Parama Karuna Dvijana Nitai Gaurachandra Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Goswami Srila Prabhupada ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrindanikajai Amacharya Srila Thakur Pranse Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda She had wait to get on Shiva Siddhi Gaur Bhakta Vrindanikajai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shayama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Kijai Vrindavanam Kijai Maturidam Kijai Jagannath Swami Kijai Yamunamai Kijai Shrimati Lasi Devi Kijai Samaveda Bhakta Vrindanikajai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bal All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastai Bhuvale Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami. Stay Saswati Vineva Sesas Vadi Vaschavadesha. So, Omagana Timidanda Shag, Hanjana Shlakaya Chakshur, Unmeditam Yena Tasmai Shigurve Namaha. Okay, you can do the garland now. So, today is the glorious appearance day of Lochan Das Thakur, and we're going to be speaking a little bit about his biography today. First, I'm going to read the translation of this poem, and then we have more poems. Not that I'm going to chant on the guitar, but more poems of Lochan Das Thakur as part of the class. So, actually, I have an English version of this song, which I'm not going to sing. It starts, most merciful two brothers, Nitai Gaurachandra, topmost avatars, shining jewels, path of unlimited bliss. And that's the first line anyway. So I have an English version of the song that I was working on. So, at least no one's here to criticize me for this. So now we're going to talk a little bit about his biography. So as far as when he was born in 1523 near Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance place in Katwa in Burdwan. Burdwan is about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from Mayapur. There's actually a train station there. I've gone there. When I used to take trains in India. And it's actually, you can take a train right from Burdwan to basically right near the Taj Mahal in Agra. And it's faster when you're taking a train. Many devotees they go all the way to Calcutta, which is much longer. It's an extra, it's 3 hours, and it's 3 hours to get to, 4 or 5 hours to get to Calcutta. And Burdwan is closer. Yes, Burdwan is closer. And then Agra, of course, is closer to Vrindavan, too. So, anyway. The station is actually the Tundla station, which is near Agra. Just a little bit of biography for you. So he was born near the rivers. He's the first day of the fortnight of the waxing moon of Posha, which is today. And he was born in a physician caste, which is called Vaidya. His father's name is Kamala Kara Das, his mother's Sada Nanda. And he studied at his maternal grandfather's house, and he displayed devotion for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from his very childhood. Now, he was very detached. This is a sign of many, many great devotees, great detachment from this material world. He was married at a very young age, according to the customs at that time. Usually, they get married even before both the personalities had achieved puberty. But then later on, they would stay together after that, after they got older. And he, even though he was married, he was extremely renounced and spent all of his time discussing Krishna Katha with the other devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So his wife, as I mentioned before, at first started to stay with her parents. But at a certain time, she got older and she was ready to join him. And her parents and his parents began to worry because of Lochan Das Thakur's indifference to material life. And so they approached his guru. When in doubt, if you want your guru to spend time, if you want the guru to order his disciple to spend time with his wife, then you go to the guru. So his guru was Narahari Sarakara, and the girl's parents told Narahari Sarakara, look, your disciple needs to associate with his wife. So the guru said, you have to go to your in-laws' home and pick up your wife. So Lochan Das Thakur, following the order of his guru, went to that village. But he was unable to remember which house it was. This is an interesting story. Because it had been a long time since the marriage. You know, they got married when they were very young. Like, sometimes the girl marries when she's 6, 7, or 8 years old. So it may have been 10 years later, so he was unable to remember. So he's looking for the house, and he addressed a girl for directions, asking her for directions. He said Ma, or mother, to her. Of course, that happened to be his wife. She didn't recognize. When he arrived, definitely not a romantic story. When he arrived at his house, he learned that the girl he asked directions from was actually his wife. From that day on, he always looked upon his wife as a mother, worshiping Guru and Gauranga in a mood of renunciation. Nice. So, anyway. So, from the Chaitanya Mangal, it's an interesting story of the Chaitanya Mangal. Let's see. Oh, yeah. We're not going to summarize the whole Chaitanya Mangal. If I get a chance, I will go to another writing that I have here to summarize it. So in the beginning of Chaitanya Mangal, he prays to Narahari Sarakata Thakur, his spiritual master. He says, I prostrate myself in humility to him. May he fulfill my desires. So Narahari Sarakata Thakur was a great associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from Srikhanda, and he was so affectionate to Lochan Das, and actually gave him initiation. So Lochan Das just couldn't leave the side of his guru in Srikhanda. His guru taught him the art of kirtan. In other words, by the inspiration of his guru, he was able to write these beautiful songs about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Chaitanya Mangal. And his guru ordered him to write about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and write a biography about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in order to do that, he wrote the Chaitanya Mangal, which is based upon Murari Gupta's Kadacha. And also another book by Murari Gupta called the Chaitanya Charitra, which is a beautiful book describing the pastimes and glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he chose the word Mangala to represent his book because Mangala means auspicious, and this indicates that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's divine pastimes are the most auspicious activity for all living entities. Mm. So Vrindavan Das Thakur's biography of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which later on became known as the Chaitanya Bhagavat, was first called the Chaitanya Mangal, but it was later on, it was decided to change it to Chaitanya Bhagavat because he was an incarnation of Srila Vyasadeva. So who Lochan Das Thakur writes in his book Chaitanya Mangal, I attentively pay my obeisances to Vrindavan Das Thakur. His Bhagavat songs have enchanted the entire universe. That's from the Chaitanya Mangal. He also prays in a beautiful way for his spiritual master's blessings to write this book. Here's the quote. Narhari Das Thakur is the proprietor of my life, and out of the hope of attaining his lotus feet, I desire to sing the glories of Gauranga, even though I'm the lowest of the low. This is my ambition. It's from the Chaitanya Mangal. And so, of course, it reflects or it demonstrates or manifests the attitude of a disciple who later on becomes a bona fide guru. The disciple is thinking whatever he does is an offering to his guru. In this way, one can avoid prophet adoration distinction. You're thinking, oh, I am preaching so nicely, but just understanding that one is Gopi Bharta Padakamala, Dasa Dasa, Dasana Dasa. So more about this. He says, this is my ambition to serve my spiritual master. I offer my reverences, getting to Spanish, to Narhari Das, the ocean of Gauranga's qualities. Other than him, I have no friend in the three worlds. My Lord and Master is Narhari Das. I prostrate myself in humility to him. May he fulfill my desires. So he wrote the Chaitanya Mangal in Eastern Bengal's, it's called Panchali style, which I believe Narottama Das Thakur also wrote in. And he completed it in the year 1537. There's a legend that he wrote the book while sitting on a stone under a flower tree. So, say there's a great author who said that Lochan Das's contribution was that he was the first to write Bengali poetry using what's called Mauric meters, as well as being one of the first historical writers in Bengali. And so the original manuscript of the Chaitanya Mangal is found in the personal library of Prakashananda Chakravarti of Kandada near the Gushkara train station. Other things that Lochan Das Thakur wrote were Prarthana, Durlabhasara, Dhammasala, and Bengali verse translations of Ramananda's Jagannath Bala Nataka, which is like a play about Lord Jagannath, and the Rasa Panchadhyaya. That's a section of the Srimad Bhagavatam dealing with the Rasa Leela. According to the Bhakti Ratnakar, Lochan Das was present at Narahari Saraka Thakur's disappearance festival and greeted guests by giving them sandalwood and garlands. So now we're going to recite some of Lochan Das's songs glorifying Nityananda. So in the Chaitanya Mangal, Lochan Das describes his guru Narahari as being Mahaprabhu's dearest associate. He does not describe Nityananda's glories as extensively, fearful that the neglect of Nityananda might be taken as offensive to his feet. He later wrote a few songs in his praise. These songs are particularly well appreciated by the devotees. So I'm going to read some of these songs and the translation. Nitai Gunamani Amara Nitai Gunamani Aniya Primera Banya Pasalaha Bandhi Primera Banya Laya Nitai Lagoda Deshe Tubila Bakata Gana Dina hina base. Dina hina patita panama nahi bache. Ramara dulaba prema sabakara jache. Abada karuna sindhu nitai katia muhana. Gare gare pule prema amihara bana. Locha bole mora nitai jevana bajila. Janiya shuniya se atma gati hoila. Beautiful poem, actually. At least I appreciate the Bengali. Nitai is the jewel of virtue. My Nitai is the jewel of virtue. He brought the deluge of love of God and flooded the world. Wow. He brought the deluge of love of God to Gauranga, flooding the devotees. The lowly and deprived are also floating. He excluded not the lowly and deprived, nor the sinful and atheistic, but insisted that everyone take the gift of love, which is beyond the reach of even Brahma. Nitai cut the floodgates, which held back the ocean of compassion, and went from door to door to give the nectar of love to everyone. Lochan Das says, that anyone who is not worshipped by Nitai has committed suicide in full knowledge. Oh my God. So there's more here, that sort of a summary. I believe that he wrote it. Lord Nityananda is free from anger and the embodiment of supreme joy. He wanders throughout the town without any pride or arrogance. He knocks on every fallen person's door and bestows the Maha Mantra, the holy names, to him. Placing straw between his teeth, he says to everyone he sees, "Worship Gaurahari, and you will purchase me and make me your slave." Wow. So, that's an amazing statement. So, of course, nobody wants Lord Nityananda to become their slave. But in other words, by going out and giving Krishna to others, then you get Lord Nityananda's lotus feet. It's an amazing poem, isn't it? Here's another poem written by Lochan Das Thakur. And the last one is this song I sang at the beginning of class. Akroda Paramananda Nityananda Roy Abhimana Shunya Nitai Nagare Badai Adama Patita Jiver Dware Dware Gaya Harinama Maha Mantra Deno Bilalaya Jare Deke Tare Kohe Danta Trinadori Amare Kinya Loha Bajo Gora Hari Eto Bole Nityananda Bume Gare Jai Sunara Parvata Jeno Dulate Lotai Heino Avatare Jarati Na Janmilo Lochan Bole Seri Papi Elo Har Gelo. And the translation is, Lord Nityananda is free from anger and the embodiment of supreme joy. He wanders throughout the town without any pride or arrogance. He knocks on every fallen person's door and bestows Mahamantra with the holy names on him. This is actually the translation I read before. Placing straw between his teeth, he says to everyone, "Worship Gaurahari and you will purchase me and make me your slave." It's the same translation. Then he falls to the ground, here's more, looking like a golden mountain rolling in the dust. Whoever lacks faith in such a compassionate incarnation is a sinner who will go as he has come, says Lochan Das. Wow. Powerful poetry, isn't it? Great faith in Lord Nityananda. So now we will speak a little bit about the Chaitanya Mangal. Hold on a second. All right. Get my notes. Okay. So first it has to be understood that there are many pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that were touched upon only briefly by Vrindavan Das Thakur. So they're described in great detail by Lochan Das Thakur. And so Chaitanya Mangal is divided into 4 parts: Sutra, Adi Kanda, Majjhima Kanda, and Shesha Kanda. It means Sutra means that which ties in all of them together. It's like a summary. And you find the Nectar Devotion is something like that too. When you start with the first few chapters of Nectar Devotion, the Eastern side, it's like ties in the whole thing. It's sort of like a summary of the whole thing, and then you get into more detail later on. Adi means beginning, Majjhima means middle, Shesha means the end. And so in the Sutra Kanda, which is standard in Vaishnava literature, there's something called the Amangala Charna. Amangala Charna means an auspicious invocation. Of course, we have our Mangala Charna prayers. The Mangala Charna prayers refer to the line of disciplic succession, including one's own guru, different incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, different pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, ultimately Srimati Radharani and the Maha Mantra. And so this Mangala Charna of Vrindavan, of Lochan Das Thakur, begin with a song about the glories of Lord Chaitanya and the Vaishnavas. So this is actually very important too, to glorify the Vaishnavas when one begins some spiritual literature. And especially Lochan Das Thakur offers respects to his spiritual master, Narahari Saraka Thakur, and prays for his guru's mercy. And then he also glorifies Murari Gupta and Murari Gupta's books like the Chaitanya Charitamritam, And he says that this book is no longer available, and he is actually summarizing it. So anyway, so he gives that whole summary of the book, and then he relates a story that he heard from Damodar Pandit. This is the story that's so famous that I often tell, which is from Jaimini's Mahabharat recital, where it describes a conversation between Narada Muni and Uddhava. In that conversation, Narada Muni explains the cause of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance in the golden form of Shri Gauranga, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that story is as follows. I'll tell it again. That Narada Muni was feeling great compassion to see all the fallen souls in the age of Kali. And thinking in this way, he thought the only thing that could rectify the situation would be if Krishna were to descend in this world to save all the conditioned souls. So he went to Dwarka to see Krishna. And Krishna was in the palace of Srimati Rukmini Devi. So then he heard from Krishna that Krishna would appear on the earth in a golden form with a devotional mood of Srimati Radharani. And of course, as we know, because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani, he is Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Krishna Gorda to say Namaha, most merciful. So of course, Rukmini Devi was very troubled by this because she was feeling separation from the Lord. And she began to praise the qualities of Radha. And Krishna, whose devotion was so glorious, this is from Srimati Rukmini Devi, that Krishna wanted to honor Srimati Radharani. That's another cause of
Lord Chaitanya's descent. He wanted to honor her by appearing in her luster or her color. That's interesting, isn't it? So he wanted to understand, see from her perspective, and enjoy the enjoyment that she has in relationship to Krishna, serving Krishna. And he also wanted to honor her, according to Lochana Das Thakur. Something new, isn't it? Wanted to honor Srimati Radharani. Krishna, Narada Muni was there, and Krishna revealed to him that in the future he would appear as the son of Sachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra in Navadvip in a golden form. And Krishna showed him that golden form, and Narada Muni started to be overwhelmed with ecstasy, obviously. So then Narada Muni went to visit Naimisharanya. And there, in answer to Uddhava's inquiries about the welfare of the living entities, Narada Muni explained how in Kali Yuga, which was the best of all ages because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would appear, and there would be kirtan of the holy name of Hari. And Narada explained to Uddhava how all these things would happen. And then Narada Muni related to Uddhava a discussion that he had previously taken place when he had visited Kailas and went to see Lord Shiva. Narada and Parvati discussed the glories of Mahaprasad, having heard of the glories of Mahaprasad. Shiva. So this is a little complicated. So Shiva and Parvati were discussing the glories of Mahaprasad, having heard of the glories of Mahaprasad from Narada. Parvati performed 12 years of Lakshmi Seva. By her mercies, another story, Parvati got some of Lakshmi Devi's own Mahaprasad and also gave Shiva a small bit of that prasad. This is a little different than the story I told before. Not able to tolerate the dancing of Shiva upon obtaining this Mahaprasad, the earth came before Parvati, begging her to give the Mahaprasad of the Vaishnavas to all the jivas. So, with this proposal, Parvati explained how the Gora avatar would come in Kali Yuga and distribute Mahaprasad to all the fallen souls. And after this, Narada went to Brahma, discussed Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's incarnation with him. Brahma, the creator, explained to him the essential subject of Srimad Bhagavatam and showed him how the Srimad Bhagavatam supported the Gora avatar. By Krishna Varnam, we said Krishnam Sango Panga Sriparshanam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayar Yajanti Samedasa, which is a famous verse from the Bhagavatam. Krishna appears in a non-blackish form in Kali Yuga, and he appears with all of his devotees chanting the holy names. After this, Narada Muni began wandering from place to place. As he went from place to place, he became concerned about the sufferings of the jivas, and as he was worrying about the living entity in this way, he came near Jagannath Puri. There he heard a divine voice discussing the avatar of Jagannath. So then he went into Puri. Then Lord Jagannath ordered him to go to Goloka. It's a really interesting story. First he came to Vaikuntha. After this he arrived in Goloka, where he saw many pastimes of the Lord. There in Goloka he saw the Lord in his golden form as Sri Gora and fainted in ecstasy. So, there's many, many stories here. Then he went all over the universe informing all the gods of the news that Krishna was going to appear. Like that. Then he went to Shvedadvip and he saw the pastimes of Balaram. And Balaram is described by Lochana Das Thakur as the very figure of service. It's interesting. Nitai. After this, all the demigods began taking birth on earth, to serve Krishna. As previously mentioned by Krishna, his conversation with Rukmini, the Lord, along with Satyabhama, Rukmini, and all of his eternal associates came from the spiritual world with the luster and mood. Came from the spiritual world. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared with the luster and mood of Radharani in a golden form as Lord Chaitanya. He came to spread the holy name around. So Balaram came as Nityananda, Shiva came as Advaita Prabhu, and the other great souls descended as his other eternal associates like Murari, Mukunda, Srivas, Ramananda Roy, of course that's Vishaka, Ishwara Puri, and Madhavendra Puri. Lochan Das Thakur concludes the chapter by praising the glories of his guru, Sri Narahari Sarakat Thakur, and his nephew, Raghunandana Thakur, another famous associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So many of these, actually it's interesting that many of these associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were related in a family way. Like Raghunanda, his father was Mukunda, right? And he was the one who got the deities to eat by crying and threatening them. So anyway, then you get to this is, so that's the Sutra Kanda. Sutra means something to tie. Sutra is a thread. Sutre Manigana Iva, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna is there. He's like the thread that holds everything together in this world. So the first chapter, and then we get to the Adi Kanda, describes the birth of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is called the Janma Leela. And the first chapter describes the advent of the Lord's eternal associates. He describes the Lord as the remote and immediate cause of creation. That means he's the, as described in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, he's the material cause and the spiritual cause of creation. Material cause means the ingredients, the spiritual cause means basically what makes the ingredients move, as Mahavishnu injects all the living entities into creation and enters into the creation as the Garbhadakshay Vishnu and the Shirodakshay Vishnu. So then he continues describing Sachi Mata, how she had a wonderful bodily effulgence. Everyone was astonished, thinking surely such a great personality is about to take birth from the womb of Sri Shachi Devi. He describes that when her pregnancy was in the 6th month, one day Advaita Acharya went to the house of Shachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra. Arriving there, he offered his obeisances to the child in the womb of Mother Sachi, and then circumambulated her. Lochan Das Thakur describes that Sachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra could not understand the cause of Advaita's unusual behavior. Because remember, Advaita Acharya was older. He was old enough to be the father or grandparent of Sachi Devi and Jagannath Mishra. So here's an old man who comes to your house, and your wife is pregnant, and he offers obeisances to your wife's womb and circumambulates her. I mean, it's quite unusual. And so even in the same way, Lord Brahma, Shiva, and the other demigods came to offer their respects to the Supreme Personality of Godhead who was within the womb of Sachi Devi. And Sachi Devi could detect, not see, but detect their presence. And she felt full of joy. It's described with the heart of Sachi Devi was full of mercy for the whole world. Because when you associate with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's the way you feel. And so then Lord Chaitanya appeared on the full day in the month of Falguna, and he describes, Lochan Das Thakur describes how the gods and goddesses, men and women eager to see the moon-like face of the son of Sachi hurried to the house of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi. In this way, their home was transformed into Vaikuntha. Anyway, there's a lot more descriptions here. We have about a minute left for class. Any questions or comments? It's beautiful. A devotee should read the Chaitanya Mangal. I mean, right now we're, of course, reading the Chaitanya Bhagavat in our evening classes when I start them again. And the Chaitanya Mangal is also a book. Maybe we'll do that after the... also a wonderful book. Maybe we'll do that after we finish the Chaitanya Bhagavat. So any questions or comments? Who Lochan is? I don't know. Does anyone remember? Anyone expert in the Gora Ganadesh Tipika? No. Now, he obviously is an eternal associate of the Lord. I mean, writing poetry like this in glorification of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I mean, these poems are from the, Prabhupada loved this song. I remember when Prabhupada chanted this song in Atlanta, Georgia, he actually went into trance. You know, he started a chant and then went into trance.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalaya Taksham Marhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundaram Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Asa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Lasyan Dipan Dikayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham
Bhajami Govinda. Namahum Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Motalai Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Samaniti Namane Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Samani Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacha Nivesesha Janyamati 마차차고 대서 어린나요 마차차고 대서 자연스레 그리스나 제기잖아 보냈잖아 시어되다 그다다 시바사대 고락드 그랬나 그리스나 제기 보냈잖아 시어되다 그다다 시바사대 Go back to friend Shri Krishna Chaitanya Brahmanijana Ji Advaita Radha Shiva Sade Gaurata Say Krishna Chaitanya Brahmanijana Dvaita Radha Shiva Sade Gaurvat Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Brahmanijana Dvaita Radha Shiva Sade Gaurvat Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Brahma, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Goloka Nana Goloka Radha. Jaya Radha Goloka Nana Goloka Radha. Jaya Radha, hey Ram, Radha, Radha, Jaya Radha. Radha, hey Radha, Radha, Jaya Radha. Radhe, Jai Om Vishnupad.
Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam Vijavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pradipanam Burnam Ridaswadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Dordaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amani Namanadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Va Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavatad Bhaktir Hoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Kripayata Vapada Pankaja Stita Duli Sadrishim Vachintaya Nayanam Galadashu Daraya Varanam Gad Gadaridaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vabhukata Tavanamagrahaneva Vishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Bravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahename Ashlishavabadam Ratam Panastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatatava Badatulam Patomat Prananatas Tusan Evanapara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than a straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. Oh, my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? Oh, Govinda, feeling your separation